Hello, everybody. Let's do a fantasy preview for Washington. Let's start in the backfield. Alfred Morris, a great rookie year. Pretty solid years 2 and 3. Does he get back to that elite running back status?
I don't think so. I think he is what he is. He's an RB2. He's a nice RB2. You know at some point he's going to get near the goal line. They're going to bring somebody else in, snag the touchdowns. That's what's happened the last couple of years. And also keep in mind that in Jay Gruden's last 4 years as a head coach or offensive coordinator, he's only had one top 15 fantasy running back, and that was Morris last year.
So we go to That Helps No One, the fantasy master there. Roy Halou, does Alfred Morris excel?
Dude, I was so stoked when Roy Halou left Washington. I'm like, this is great. And then they draft a running back. You're like, oh, my gosh, just once. We can't have anything nice ever. Because Freddie Morris would be a surefire RB1 if he just got half the time. It doesn't have to be all the time.
Right.
Listen, I'm trying to be reasonable here. Meet me halfway. Give it to him half of the time. That's all we ask. That's all we need.
Deshaun Jackson, again, you talk about boom or bust wide receiver. Sometimes he carries you, sometimes he busts you. How do you see Deshaun Jackson playing out this year?
Sometimes he'll boom you, sometimes he'll bust you. I mean, things don't change in that respect.
Right.
I mean, this is a guy who is a big play threat. And when he hits those home runs, you're going to get good fantasy production out of him. When he's not catching touchdown passes, then they're going to be more mediocre numbers. But he's a guy that you can get for good value. You plug him in as a low-end wide receiver 2, probably a wide receiver 3. I mean, having Deshaun Jackson as a flex option,
beautiful.
I'm thrilled with that.
I mean, the last 2 years he's been a top 20 fantasy wide receiver. It's just that he doesn't get the respect because he's really inconsistent at times. But Gruden's offenses are good for fantasy wide receivers. Last 4 years, he's had at least one top 16 fantasy wideout.
Adam Wright.
Yes, sir.
Deshaun Jackson, can he break through, be a top 10 guy?
I don't think he's going to. There's just too many good guys ahead of him.
Point.
I don't think that the consistency lends him to be. Like him and Pierre Garçon put up similar type numbers, except you have to draft D. Jackson, the 6th round. Pierre Garçon lasts to like the 10th.
There you go. Fabs, let's talk about RG3. Man, again, I know the story's been he was tantalizing his first 6 games and then not so much thereafter. Can he bounce back? Can he be more than anything than a backup quarterback?
I mean, can he stay healthy? That's the big question. And will Gruden stay with him through the rough waters, which are likely to happen at some point? Now, Gruden did well in Cincinnati. Andy Dalton was actually a top 5 fantasy quarterback a few years ago. Never finished worse than 15th. But I don't know that Robert Griffin III starts 10 games this year. You could see Kirk Cousins in there as well. So I don't know that he's draftable, and if he is, it's a 2 QB league or a deeper league.
I'm not touching him. Outside of a 2 QB league, there's no way I'm taking a chance on
How about Kirk Cousins? No?
No, not some. Colt McCoy, forever.
Would you be serious? All right, that's our fantasy preview for Washington. Be sure to sign up for free fantasy football right now, NFL.com/fantasy. We'll see you.